Yes, sir, I've arrived early to cover part 3 of Cobra Kai because it is officially ending. And yes, you're crying and I'm not.
What the
So the episode kicks off with Kwon being burnt inside of this coffin with his fighting gi right on top. And I'm never gonna forget how dirty they did my boy. Literally killed him off for no reason. Kwon was actually such a perfect character, but the Cobra Kai writers really said, nah, I'ma do my own thing. But while Rod Wave is over here getting a calm little massage, he then gets interrupted by none other than Silver. Like, bro, what the heck? How did he even get his location? Almost gave bro a whole heart attack. But this man Silver was like, hey, if you're not gonna resume the SEKAI TAIKI, we're gonna have some problems. And Rod Wave obviously wanted no smoke with UNC, so he gives him a condition. Alright, if all senseis and students agree, only then will the SEKAI TAIKI continue. And that boy Silver was geek. That's all he needed to hear. We then cut back to Master Kim, who's built like a Lego Ninjago character, and he's like, hey Yoon, I want you to beat up another student. And that boy Yoon was in pure shock. But I feel bad for this student because he was about to get done the worst way, man. So Yoon then hits this boy with a 3-piece combo with no sauce included on that side. But this evil UNC then tells Yoon to hit even harder, as he does, and begins to beat the brakes off of this poor student, and his internal organs were screaming for dear life. Like, dog, what did he even do? What did I do? He's not walking for a cool 2 weeks after that one. But Master Kim then sends in the next student, and man, this was just brutal to watch, cause Yoon hits this dude with a few karate chops, and you know it's bad when even Kreese doesn't like what he's seeing. Bro was straight traumatized. But hey, I guess this was apparently punishment for letting Kwon die. But this is how you treat your students though? Bro has to be the worst sensei of all time. Even Kim knew her grandfather had to go. I mean, maybe Thanos was right.
What did I just see?
So Silver then pulls up to LaRusso's crib and he gave bro that death stare. There is absolutely nothing but fear behind those eyes. But anyways, Silver then tells Daniel and Johnny to reconsider putting the tournament back up. And bro even gave them the chance to choose the venue and all. It was all paid for. And I'm not gonna lie, that boy Silver is really like the LeBron James of negotiating. He's always gonna get his way no matter what, as he then leaves LaRusso's house. And bro, I forgot how tall Silver really is. He really had to duck his head down to exit the door, bro.
Whoa! Damn!
We then cut to the next scene, and here's where things get real wild, cause Kim literally sneaks in with a knife on someone that's sleeping right now. I know that man is having the best sleep of his entire life. But Kim then puts her hand up, about to stab her own grandfather. Yes, her own grandfather. You're not hallucinating right now. And Kim had no dog in her, straight puppy in her eyes, cause she physically couldn't do it. And Kim's grandfather was insisting her to send him to the Michael Jackson meet and greet, but it was too late, as UNC then gets up and hits Kim with a light attack twice, but that girl was not ready at all, as she then gets hit in the stomach, had her gasping for air. But UNC then gives her a knuckle sandwich, kicks her leg, and starts choking the absolute life out of Kim, as he used to do to her as a little child. Like, oh nah, maybe UNC deserved to die after all. Kim then hits her grandfather with a clean punch followed up with a 3-piece karate chop, and that man was on his last leg cause some Kool-Aid started dripping out of his mouth, and then he literally proceeds to die right after her. Like, bro, ain't no way teenage karate is this serious. We really got people offing their own family members now just to win the SEKAI TAIKI. Even Kreese saw enough. He was about to go off to Cancun and enjoy his retirement sipping on some margaritas. So then we cut to the Binary brothers and Robbie, and after getting absolutely annihilated in the SEKAI TAIKI, they come up with a new training plan to replicate Axel's fighting skills. And basically, Mr. MIT created a predictive algorithm for the possible moves that Axel could throw out. And hey, I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty smart, but the chance that Robbie has of beating Axel right now is a whopping 12%.
This is trash!
Even Robbie was like, dang, the writers really nerfed me that hard? So they start boxing it, and Robbie gets laid out in 2 seconds flat. Like, bro, at this point, you're better off letting Dimitri onto the mat. This is disgraceful. But then Miguel proceeds to land a chest shot, a left jab into another chest shot, and at this point, it just gets worse, cause his chances are 4% of beating Axel now. Like, nah, how about I get into the fighting ring? Let me put on some fighting gi. But even Robbie knew the headset wasn't the problem, it was simply him. Like, he's so garbage. But hold on, for the 10 Robbie Glazers that are still watching, I'm not giving up on him just yet, cause he actually starts countering Miguel's moves and even lands a point on him. And that boy Robbie was cooking, cause he hits a couple of clean weaves like he's Goku into a chest kick. But meanwhile, we see my boy Johnny getting married to Carmen in the hospital with his newborn baby. Yes, sir. That's what I like to see. I'm actually so happy for you, my guy. Just please don't become a deadbeat and leave to go get the milk and never come back like you did with Robbie.
Do you have any relationship with your father? I mean,
What's that? What's a father?
And also, make sure to hit that subscribe button so we can reach 100K, man. So then we finally arrive at the SEKAI TAIKI and we have our long-awaited rematch, Robbie Keane versus Axel, and I think we all knew how this match was gonna end. Even Robbie started getting flashbacks of getting spanked by Axel back in part 2. But my guy does have the veterans Daniel, Johnny, and Chosen on his side, so there's no way he can lose now. But yo, peep Axel though, he was fully locked in for the attorney. Bro is literally a super senior and none of y'all can actually convince me that he's a teenager. Like, I know bro has a wife and 5 kids back at home in Slovakia waiting for them. Someone check on his ID right now. So then the two fighters get into a fighting stance and here's where it really begins, cause Robbie hits an easy block followed into a slow motion weave, but then Robbie proceeds to hit the most unnecessary flip I've done ever seen. Like bro, trust me, we see the acrobats, you don't gotta show them off in front of Sam. Like I swear dudes be doing anything to show off in front of the huz, doing backflips like I show speed in the middle of nowhere. But Robbie then starts blocking and weaving every single punch from Axel exactly like he was doing in training. Like bro really has every moveset in his database, so he knows exactly what he's gonna do, as Axel misses the overhand and lands a majestic spinning kick straight into the stomach, and the first point shockingly goes to Robbie Keane. And this had all the Miyagi-Do students and senseis hyped up right now, and oh man, they did my brother Kenny dirty. Made him a literal side character from The Sims 4. Bro got less screen time than Hawkeye did in the Avengers Endgame. That's... So the next sequence starts off with Axel hitting this unknown pose that literally nobody has ever seen. Even Dimitri and Robbie knew they were cooked. This fighting stance was not even in the database. But Axel then starts going berserk, but Robbie hits a block, dodges the uppercut, blocks the right, ducks the overhand, had Axel hitting nothing but straight air. Like bro, your opponent is not Yao Ming, where are you aiming at? But then Axel then proceeds to land 2 hits on Robbie, scoring some points, making it 2-1 in Axel's favor. So my boy Robbie then starts going on the offensive but gets all of his blows rejected, but then Axel blocks the right and punches Robbie in the face, followed up by a blocked kick, but then lands the second one, smacking Robbie with his toes. Yeah, that boy is getting work right now, but Dimitri really set Robbie up for failure because apparently that move wasn't even in the algorithm. But then Axel lands a juicy kick, but that boy Robbie blocks it somehow, and you can just tell by Robbie's stance that the CTE is kicking in right now. And this is where Axel takes complete advantage of Robbie for being too aggressive, as he then starts manhandling him, hitting Robbie with all types of moves and swinging him around like a little child. But Robbie then tries breaking out, only to get hit with the Rasengan from Naruto, and that man Axel was dialed in, making the score 6-1. And bro, it's looking very terrible for Robbie Glazers right now. I cannot defend this man anymore, I'm sorry. So while Axel is getting the Rihanna treatment, getting slapped across the face for giving a point away, we then see Daniel giving my boy Robbie the David Goggins speech, telling him to lock in because he's faced worse than this. And hey, I agree, cause I would not let my worst enemy fight Miguel from season 2. That boy was a monster. So the next round boots up with Robbie squaring up in that Dragon Ball Z stance, as he then blocks the direct hit from Axel, but then Robbie starts getting tossed around again because he's the same weight as Kai Cenat, which makes it easy for Axel to abuse him. But then Robbie hits a duck down weave, blocks the left and the uppercut, and then hits an ultra instinct dodge, only to get clocked right in the nose. Yeah, I'm sorry bro, Robbie fell off, I do not care. But this beating that Robbie was getting activated something inside of him, cause he goes on a blocking rampage, deflecting every single hit from Axel, and then finally lands his second point, making bro infuriated. But the score is officially 7-2 now, and hey, that's an improvement considering that literally nobody could even touch him in the last tournament, not even my GOAT Miguel. And here's where Robbie gets real tactical, because he gives Axel his foot for free and then uses it to do a 180 flip, smacking Axel straight in the face. Like, yes sir, that's what I'm talking about. The whole crowd was amped up right now, and hey Robbie, I was not familiar with your game. I do owe you an apology, cause he can low-key throw hands right now. And Axel was really pissed. He was not gonna let this slide, because he rushes in with a calm kick followed into a mean right hook, smacking the sonic rings out of Robbie. But that punch definitely knocked some sense into him, cause he hits a clean 360 elbow, and Robbie must have gotten a bit too frisky with that left jab, cause I don't know why Robbie is going for the head when he can can barely reach it, bro. But then Robbie turns into Bruce Lee, landing a splendid kick straight to the stomach, which had that boy Axel squealing for help. As he then counters with a spinning kick of his own, putting Robbie on 1 HP right now. I know Axel's moves hurt like a literal truck because he's 7'3", 250, the same as Rod weight. So Axel then starts applying some pressure on Robbie with a bunch of different punches and kicks until he smacks the goofy out of him, and then Axel literally starts spamming the X button, throwing out every attack in his inventory. But that man Robbie was holding onto a thread, defending for his life, as he then hops over Axel and then proceeds to land the most impressive kick I've seen so far in this tournament. And I can't lie, I was straight geeked in my seat when I first saw that. And even Axel could feel Robbie's aura radiating on the mat. This man was straight feasting, making the score 11-6, and I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty close right now. Had all 5 Robbie fans in the crowd cheering like crazy. But this is where the tomfoolery commences, because the Iron Dragons realize that Axel is getting cooked right now. So then Silver gives Sensei Wolf the green light to ruin Robbie's whole career, telling Axel to go straight for the knee and end the fight. Like, bro, that man Wolf is an actual meathead. I cannot physically express my utter hatred I have for these two lunatics. I can't stand them. I hate them. So the final round kicks off with Robbie hitting 2 easy blocks from Axel and airballing the kick. It literally gets all of his punches eaten up like Rod Wave on Thanksgiving dinner. But then Robbie tries a cheeky little kick, but that's evaded with no problems. And yeah, this is exactly where tragedy takes place, because Axel grips onto his leg and flips Robbie over like a pancake, ripping his ACL apart. And you could even hear the bones cracking. That's how I knew Robbie's career was over, like Derrick Rose. You're not coming back after this one. And I was genuinely so pissed when I first saw this scene, because the ref should easily be able to disqualify him from that. But instead, this dude tells him some nonsense, saying that they got tangled up. Like, nah, you're not fooling me, dog. This man Silver paid the refs a fat bag in order to rig this fight in Axel's favor, and they even had my boy Robbie laid out in the locker room, crying his tears out like he's Vegeta. Like, I can assure you that the writers really don't like Robbie, cause they keep handing him unlimited L's like the unincredible Hulk. So then we get this little cutscene with Daniel LaRusso in his backyard chilling in the nighttime, until out of nowhere this man starts tweaking out and begins getting flashbacks from the first Karate Kid movie. Cause Daniel then proceeds to get jump scared by a bunch of skeletons and they invade his property as they're all about to jump my guy. But now me personally though, if I was in this situation, I would have pulled out my ray gun and got to blasting everyone in my sight. If you know, you know. And by a miracle, we then see Mr. Miyagi come back from the gulag to save Daniel from the skeletons, and Ankh still got it because he proceeds to squad wipe all of the skeletons with ease, even hitting all sorts of WWE finishers on these people that are attempting to attack him. But then we get this legendary team up on some Mark and Omni-Man type timing, and these two really start putting the beats on these skeletons, knocking them out left and right with no hesitation. But then we get a close up on Mr. Miyagi, and oh nah, they did my boy dirty. That's not Mr. Miyagi, that's Mr. Teriyaki. Like, the animators did not cook with this one at all. Please put the AI generator in the trash after this one. And bro, the crazy part is this was all a dream. Like, Daniel, how are you a grown man dreaming about another man? Stop it. Get some help. So while Terry Silver is grinning ear to ear, bragging to his students that they beat Miyagi-Do, the announcer then tells us that Cobra Kai has a new replacement joining Tori Nichols. And it's none other than the GOAT himself, Miguel Diaz. But then these two proceed to make the hardest entrance in the entire show with Johnny Lawrence as their sensei. Like, I was really about to scream my lungs out when I first saw this, cause we finally got Miguel back to the dojo that he first started in, so you know he was not gonna hold back while fighting. So then we cut to Daniel and Terry Silver after Miyagi-Do's victory after that girl Tori beat the literal teeth out of Zara and knocked her out cold. But then these two start trash talking each other, and honestly, as corny as Daniel LaRusso really is, I'm glad he finally stopped glazing Mr. Miyagi and said this line right here.
Haven't you heard? Cobra Kai never dies.
It's really cool, man. I was really over my channel, made me cringe.
But now we finally get to our main event of the SEKAI TAIKI finals, which is Axel versus Miguel Diaz. And I know my boy is ready to get his get back for Robbie after how he gave him that Squidward treatment. Had Robbie limping from one leg. That is unacceptable behavior. So the boxing starts off with Miguel hitting this completely unnecessary flip, but then he instantly punches Axel and gets his first point just like that. And this had Sensei Wolf absolutely confuzzled because he did not know Miguel was built like that. But then this man Miguel tries kicking Axel's jaw right off of his face, but it's luckily blocked. And then Miguel turns into Spider-Man and misses his target terribly. Like, bro, calm down with the excessive flips. You are not Duke Dennis or Kwon. So drop kick from Invincible, then tries a drop kick and then proceeds to go in for a Superman punch, but it's easily deflected by Axel. But y'all must have forgot who Miguel Diaz is, because he then counters with a mean backwards punch, and bro wasn't even looking at his opponent when he landed that attack. That's how you know Miguel is literally him. And then Axel goes in for a right jab, but it's easily blocked. And then Axel tries manhandling Miguel, but he hits a weave right in time before he gets a Looney Tunes head bump on his head. But this is where all the Miguel stands, including myself, started standing up, because watch this. Because Miguel lands a mean elbow on Axel and then follows up with a donkey kick straight out of Shrek. Like, oh my goodness, that boy Miguel was cooking harder than Gordon Ramsay. But to put the icing on the cake, Miguel then proceeds to hit 2 clean dodges in a row and then literally weaves 2 more punches. And then Miguel turns into Itachi with his Sharingan, reading every attack from Axel. And then he finishes it off with a vicious spinning kick, making the score 5-0. Like, oh nah, that boy Axel fell off. He was just frying everyone and their moms in part 2, but now he can barely believe what he's witnessing right now. And that man Sensei Wolf was not playing around, cause he's like, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. And that was all Axel needed to hear, cause bro even started grunting like the goblin from Clash Royale. So the next round kicks off with Miguel and Axel feeling each other out with some punches and kicks, and then these two literally copy each other's moves, kicking each other, but then Axel lands a mean kick straight to Miguel's chest, had that boy hitting the... Miguel and Axel then start exchanging a few blows and attacks, but that did not last for very long, as Axel smacks Miguel in the ear and then hits a triple weave, followed up by a karate chop into a strong kick, and finishes the combo with a crazy strike to the face. And this had Miguel in that swimmer position, getting ready to participate in the Olympics. And here's where the fight starts getting real serious, cause Axel hits a majestic weave and then punts Miguel away like a soccer ball. But wait, he's not finished, cause Axel then rushes in and lands a critical shot right at the back of Miguel's head. And that boy got put straight to sleep like me after listening to the new Rod Wave. And I really thought the writers were about to give Miguel that season 4 treatment. It was looking like it was GG's. But that boy Miguel gets right back up and luckily gets saved by the horn, or else he would have been dead meat. And then my guy Johnny starts giving Miguel that generational pep talk, even giving him his headband. That's how I knew he was gonna cook. Yes sir. So the final round starts off with Axel hitting nothing but straight CO2 particles, and then Miguel hits a telegraphed weave, and then he suddenly starts remembering his training at Cobra Kai, which helps Miguel counter every weak attack thrown out from Axel. And then he smacks bro in the face, and oh yeah, look at my dog Miguel's face. He was fully locked in, had Tory in the crowd watching. Losing was not an option. And at this moment, Axel was contemplating whether he should cheat in order to win, but sadly he made the stupidest decision, as he goes in for the sweep kick, but Sensei Wolf already accepted his fate. He knew it was over, because Miguel then lands the cleanest 360 kick I've then ever seen, putting Axel on his knees like he's getting ready to marry Miguel. And man, we could all see the writing on the wall, because Miguel then proceeds to hit a sideways weave and then says block, 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 and then landing a vicious double kick on Axel, making him hit that dab, which had the crowd exhilarated. Oh my goodness. And the rest is just history, because Miguel then hits the superhero pose like he's in an edit, and then flips his body around, smacking the goofy out of Axel, putting him on the ground once and for all. But then we get one of the greatest pop-offs in Cobra Kai history. Like bro, I speak for every Miguel fan when I say that we have been waiting decades to see Miguel get the win that he finally deserved, and he got it. And basically the series ends with Chris blowing the ship up with him and Silver on it, getting absolutely eviscerated, and also Johnny winning his match against Sensei Wolf. Like man, you cannot ask for a better ending. And if y'all enjoyed this vid and want more Cobra Kai in the future, make sure to hit the subscribe button so we can hit 100k. But I'm out. Bye.